What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out the MBRP Armor Lite single side exit exhaust system with a polished tip fitting all 2015 through 2020 2.7 liter EcoBoost F-150s. Now if you're looking to upgrade your exhaust to get a more aggressive presence from your EcoBoost and hear the turbos a little bit better, all while keeping it simple and pretty affordable, this is going to be a great choice to look into. Now this will have MBRP's street profile being right in the middle of the spectrum, 4 volumes, so out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being wake the neighbors loud. This is going to land at a 3, making it a great option for the everyday driver who doesn't want an overload of volume but does want the extra character for their truck. Now in addition to that personality that you're getting with the sound, this will be great if you want that clean and classic polished appearance to the truck to clean up the look compared to the plain factory tailpipe. The street profile that this has will be a result of the system's design with a straight-through style muffler and minimal piping of the single side exit configuration. Now MBRP does state that this will have an 11% increase in flow compared to factory, freeing up restriction and offering the volume increase and the lower tone while remaining comfortable inside the cab on longer drives and avoiding a lot of drone at low RPM cruising. Now along with the flow increase, the system will also decrease back pressure, ultimately providing some performance benefits by allowing the turbos to spool a little bit faster. The system is made of a 3-inch mandrel bent piping of aluminized steel, which is made with 16 gauge steel and a thick aluminum silica on top. Now the aluminum silica or the aluminized finish will help with rust resistance over time, and the materials here will do incredibly well in drier climates and may show wear a little quicker in areas that are more vulnerable to rust. Now regardless of where you live, this will be made very well with good fitment, factory style flanges, and an included extension pipe for specific applications, as well as factory located hangers. Now we'll also have a durable and good looking 4-inch tip on the back made of a T304 stainless steel material, which will have top tier rust resistance and a single wall rolled angle cut construction for a polished and very sharp appearance for the back of this system. This will be about $450 and one of the most affordable choices in the category. Now compared to other choices on the page, this will have a more minimal side exit appearance. It's going to take a more moderate approach to the volume, and it's going to be made of cost-effective materials compared to some of the super expensive choices. Now again, if you want that extra character, the throatier and more aggressive sound for your EcoBoost, you want the polished look, but also want to save some cash in the meantime, this is going to be a fantastic option to choose. Install here will be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking about 2 or so hours to install. Now at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers to show you how to take off the exhaust system, and one of our customers who has installed this on their F-150 is going to walk you through the step-by-step install process of this exhaust. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
And here are the tools that I used. Pretty simple arrangement. Just did it myself at home, and I'm no mechanic, but I was able to get the job done with these simple things. So 10mm socket, 13mm socket, 15, an 8mm hex, a couple different size ratchets. Impact drill really came in handy for some of those bolts. Brake caliper grease, and then I used PB Blaster for prepping the nuts and bolts before I tried to take them off. I'm gonna just jack this truck up, use some jack stands. I don't have a lift, because obviously I'm doing it in my garage at home. I'll get up as high as I can. I'll throw the jack stands under here. And before I got this started, I used some PB Blaster on all the nuts and just kind of let it sit for a couple hours. So I got the jack stands on, the weights down on mostly on the jack stands, and then I like to just use the lift to rest on it, so it's just an extra safety precaution. Okay, this is taking off the stock exhaust. The first step was to apply penetrating lubricant liberally to all the nuts and bolts, which I did this early this morning, so it had been sitting for about 6 hours. I just used PB Blaster. This is the factory clamp in front of the muffler. So we gotta loosen this bolt. It is super rusted, so if you have an impact drill, that's gonna be extremely helpful for you. I'm just using a 15 millimeter. All right, next step, we're gonna be loosening the factory extension pipe flange bolts. This is with a 13 millimeter ratchet. Having an extension socket would make it a lot easier too, but I don't have the impact drills extensions, I just have the ratchets. Well, maybe I changed my mind. I think I am gonna just take them out all the way. That way I can rotate the muffler and get that lock undone. Get you right there for now. Okay, so I could not get this muffler to twist. It is super rusted and it just does not want to go. So I'm gonna try to improvise and get this whole thing off in one piece if I can. And I tried pushing it. These hangers are on super good, even though I put lube in there. So I'm just not gonna fight them. I'm gonna take off the hangers and see if that helps so we can get this done this way. Boom. Much easier. Okay, onto the back hanger here. All right, next step is to install the extension pipe with the flange. And it's just gonna be loosely connected so you can get everything else on. But I do not have an extra set of hands, so I'm using my jack stand to kind of support this while I put it in place. So the instructions say to put the washer on, then your lock nut, and then your bolt. And I'm just putting it on the direction that the factory one was on. I'm just making sure there's no gap here. Okay, good enough for now. Again, it's not all the way tight until you can get everything else the way you want it. All right, so you can kind of see the setup I have here. This is definitely a DIY, but there you go. I'm using the jack, kind of hold that extension pipe in place. Next step is to install the hang tight hanger onto one of the 3-inch band clamps. So this is what it looks like once it's done. Pretty easy to do. I'll just do it again here. Basically it comes as two pieces here. You want the hanger pointing away from it. Just push down a little bit. Push down a little bit so you get a gap. Slide it through that larger hole, and then slide it down so that it clamps onto the side. So it looks like that. So the next step is I need to put up these hangers where they're supposed to go. I didn't have any lube, like PB Blaster, silicone, or anything like that. I did have some brake caliper grease, so I just put a little bit of brake caliper grease in here to help it easier for the flange to slide in. Okay, so now I'm gonna install that hang tight hanger clamp on the 3-inch onto the pipe. Just kind of place it over there like that. I'm just doing these hand tight right now, and then I'll tighten them in once I actually get this stuff set. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just placing the muffler on. That hang tight clamp. And that hanger. So it's just hanging kind of loose right now. I didn't tighten it or anything yet. Okay, at this point I'm going to put the hang pipe into the muffler and then put it into the factory isolator with that hanger that's already attached to it. And I just put in a little bit of the brake caliper lube in here. That way I can slide that hanger in a little easier. Okay, now I'm gonna put this 3-inch hanger on the muffler. 3-inch clamp on the muffler, sorry. Now I've got the hang pipe. There it goes. That was a little tricky, but you just gotta get the angles right. Okay. Once I got it in right, I had it backwards at first, then I flipped it around and got it in. It fit pretty well. Okay, so I got that on. The last part is just to put the end of the pipe on. And then I'm gonna have to hook this back on to the top here, so that way I can get my final piece in. I'm gonna do the same thing, just lube it up, and then slide in the flange, and it should be good to go. So I'm just gonna reinstall the factory isolator, hanger, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just getting it up here. I'm not gonna tighten it up all the way, but enough to where it's somewhat snug so it can hold the weight. Final pipe here. And again, you can take off these hangers or you can leave them on, and if you have the silicone, the spray in there to slide them off, I just wasn't able to get it out, so I decided to take them off. As long as you know where they go, it's no problem, you can put them back in. And these just take a 10mm socket to get them off. That's the same size for all the hangers. And I'll go through everything at the end and crank it all down, get it snug. Okay, last step, second to last step. We're almost done. It's starting to come together. Let's get this over the axle pipe in. This is going to be kind of tricky by myself, but okay. So it was kind of like fitting a puzzle piece on this last one, but I had to adjust it a little bit. I was hopeful to have everything loose. Got enough clearance here. I have a spare tire. So we're looking good. I'm gonna do a check over everything, put the end piece exhaust on, and we'll be done. We'll give it a start up here. Let you hear what it sounds like.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the MBRP Armor Lite single side exit exhaust system with a polished tip, fitting all 2015 through 2020 2.7 liter EcoBoost F-150s, and you can find this right here at AmericanTrucks.com.